Hi guys, welcome back from your first week of break. This is the introduction to the jumper class from GridWorld. As you can see, jumper is described in your GridWorld PDF on page 26. So if you have not looked it over yet, go ahead and pause the screencast and go ahead and read over the description for jumper class. Now, if you have read over the description for jumper class, you do not have to do it in your group. It says organize into groups of 3 or 5, but the exercise should be easy enough for you to get through on your own. Now, I can't stop you guys from collaborating, so feel free to talk about it with each other, talk about it on Facebook, talk about it on Piazza, whatever it is you want to do. But each of you have to turn in your own copy on Canvas. I'm expecting a jumper class and the driver or runner for jumper. To help you guys out, I am going to go through parts of jumper, a little bit about inheritance, and I'm going to show you how to set up the BlueJ project as well, so you're not completely in the dark. You have about, what is it, a little over a week? Yeah, a little over a week to get this done, so you've got plenty of time. Sorry that the previous video apparently didn't work out. I saw on Piazza Abdi and a couple other guys saying that there was some weirdness with the video not syncing with the audio, or the audio being the complete wrong track. So this is a re-recording. If I leave out anything, if I say anything weird, go ahead, go on Piazza and leave a question. And if I don't get to it, because I am in Michigan right now, if I don't get to it, hopefully somebody else from the class does see it and get to it. All right, so the way jumper works is that jumper behaves a lot like the bug class. At this point in time, you should have looked at bug class. You should have watched the previous videos for can, move, and move. So jumper behaves a little bit differently from bug. Everything's kind of the same. Jumper will eat flower, it'll jump on top of a flower. It can't occupy the same location as another jumper or another rock. But the major difference in behavior is that jumper will move 2 locations at a time. So I'm going to open let me see if I can get to it here. If I'm going to open the bug class, and we're going to go over the parts that you need to know, or the parts that you need to focus on to complete jumper. So here's the GridWorld code folder. I'm going to double click on framework, info, GridWorld, actor. You can see the bug class in front of you. Let's see, my Notepad++ opened in the middle of the file, so let me scroll up here. I'm going to slowly scroll down. Here's move, here's can move. These are the 2 methods that you need to focus on. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can get started in BlueJ. You can go to BlueJ, click new project, call the project whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call mine jumper example. I'm going to create my jumper class. I can spell it correctly here. Go ahead and open it. I'm going to leave the documentation up to you and go ahead and remove all the extraneous code in the middle. And I'm going to leave it without a constructor and all that good stuff first. So all you have right now is public class jumper. At this point, you should be able to compile it. It's a working class. And I'm going to show you how you can get started with your jumper class. So I'm going to come back to bug. And I'm going to highlight and copy and paste from move all the way through can move. And I know that kind of zoomed by kind of fast. So go ahead and just keep watching. I'm going to clarify it in BlueJ. So here I am in BlueJ. I am going to go and auto layout the entire file. And you can see here, I'm going to scroll through it a little slowly. You can see can move. You can see move. Now I did not copy over all the appropriate documentation. It is your job to rewrite the documentation and make sure it applies to the jumper class. I don't want to see anything about bug in there. If I do see, bug this or bug that or a bug constructor, that's on you guys. Okay. All right. So I have move and can move. And if you've watched the move or can move videos, then you realize the way that move and can move works. I'm going to highlight the proper line here. Is that it checks for the next location in both move and can move. And as you know, jumper does not move into an adjacent location. Instead, jumper moves 2 locations in the direction that it's facing. So you're going to have to modify both move and can move so that jumper works appropriately. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is a little bit about inheritance. And the only reason why I'm doing that is we did not have enough time to do all the details that you would need to get this done without a little shove from me in the right direction. So where it says public class jumper, what we need to do is we are going to extend or extends bug. And the reason why we do that, the reason why we make this design choice is because jumper behaves like bug in every aspect except in the location that it's moving to. Okay. Now, don't forget to create the appropriate default constructors. And I am also going to leave that up to you as to what you want in your default constructor. My hint to you is to look at the bug constructor, see what's happening there, make the appropriate changes, or you can, kind of customize jumper to your own need. Okay, so that should take care of the Java code that you would need to get started. I am going to also at this point show you how to customize the image for jumper. And I know some of you really want to do that. So here's my jumper folder on my desktop. If I double click on it, you can see that there are the 3 files that we've created so far. Notice that there is no GIF file, so I'm going to open my Microsoft Paint here. Some of you may be using Apple product at home, or you might be using Windows 7. You're going to need to figure out how to use your own machine, find the appropriate paint tool, or download GIMP, or simply not have a custom image for your jumper. But I'm going to show you how to do it on my machine here, and it is a Windows 8 machine. So I'm going to open Paint, and the size in pixels is 42 by 42, and we need to remove the aspect ratio check mark here. So 42 by 42 pixels. As you can see, that's fairly small, but you realize that GridWorld is fairly small. So I'm going to zoom in so that I can draw my little box here. I'm going to draw a jumper. We'll choose green, and let's draw what we think a jumper might look like. I'm going to give a little horn, Yeah, this is why I'm a computer scientist and not an artist. So that's my book with 2 little horns. I'm going to save it. And what you want to save it as, actually, let me take a step back. Where you want to save it is in the same folder as your other jumper files, and you want to save it as a GIF file. All right, not a PNG, not a JPEG, not a TIFF file, but a GIF file, GIF. All right, so the file extension should be GIF. And the name of the file will be the same name as your class. So in our case, it's jumper with a capital J. I'll hit save. This is due on continue. We'll hit OK. Close them as paint. As you can see, jumper.gif is in there. And at this point in BlueJ, I am going to create a quick, I can spell driver. I'm not going to go back and fix that. I'm sure some of you have other things you want to go do. So I am going to create a quick driver here. Right, public static void main. We get our arguments parameter. Now let's create our actor world. Dun, dun, dun. And I will now add my jumper. Now I'm going to create it as an anonymous object. I know I haven't gone over that term with you just yet, but hopefully you can kind of figure out what I'm doing here. An anonymous object is an object without a variable, right? We call it anonymous because the object is created, but I have no way to access the object again because I have no variable holding its reference, right? So let's make sure I import actor world, info.gridworld actor, I think, and then actor world. And and I need to make sure I import bug as well. And this is why I hate GridWorld sometimes. All right, so I gotta import grid2. All the imports, right, guys? All right, import info.gridworld.grid. Hopefully that's the right one. Looks like it is. We also want to get actor. We also want to get location. And that I don't remember where location is. So we're going to take an educated guess. Probably not in the actor package because it doesn't make any sense. Looks like it is in the grid package though. So one last one is flower. That takes care of jumper. So we'll come back to our driver. Might as well throw in the VAR here. Make sure it's spelled correctly. All right, let's run it very quickly here. Oh, and your teacher's an idiot. Forgot the show method, right, guys? Sorry about that. There we go. All right, that's it. And there you go. There's jumper. There's the custom image, and it is red. Now, there is a reason why it's red. We have not gone over inheritance in detail yet, but we did go over it a little bit. At this point, some of you, 99 of you, I would say 40 of you should be able to tell me why it's red and not blue or green or yellow. We'll go over it when we get back, but if you are, super curious as why it's not one of the other colors, take a look at bug. Okay. So at this point, if I click step a couple of times, you'll see our bug do its little thing. Okay. All right. Again, if there are any questions, feel free to jump on Piazza. Throw your questions up there. I'll be checking it tomorrow morning. If I don't get to it, hopefully another student does. Okay. Have a good night.